Hey guys, it's Kathy here, and I'm finally back with a new album to share. I took a little break there for a few months, and during that time my hubby and I went on a much needed vacation to the UK and France for a few weeks. So when I was able to get back into crafting again, I was really inspired by this Graphic 45 Gilded Lily collection. I had the opportunity to visit Versailles while we were there, and it was just an amazing experience. And so this album is for the photos of that trip, and if you stay tuned until the end of this video, I'm going to show the album with my photos in it from Versailles, and that'll be the first time that I've ever shared an album with photos in it. So a little information about this. It's an 8x8 album, and I do have a start to finish video tutorial of this album in my Etsy shop, as well as a PDF version. So the video tutorial, in the listing there's a little movie icon in the upper corner, and of course each listing states whether it's the PDF or the video tutorial. And you'll have to excuse my voice. I've been filming the video tutorial for the past 2 weeks, and I am just, it does a number on your voice. I'm super hoarse, so I do apologize for that. The information about what I used in this album: I used 2 of the 8x8 paper pads, the 6x6 Patterns in Solids paper pad, the decorative chipboard tags, the sticker sheet, the pockets and tags sheet, and also the journaling cards in the collection, which are pretty important in this album, and I'll point out where and how I've used those. So Versailles is all about the opulence. It's just absolutely, the palace is absolutely ginormous, and there's gold gates around it and gold everywhere. And the royal gardens go on for miles, so it was just really an amazing thing. So this album is all about that gold opulence. So a little bit on the covers here. I've used this gold lace trim. I purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and it's sold by the yard, and I've added some flat back pearls here to it. I've used the main image here from the signature sheet in the collection, and then added in some paper piecing here. This Gilded Lily, I cut this from a journaling card and then matted it, and I've used gold cardstock throughout the album, so this has some dimensional adhesive behind it. I've cut out a lot of the lily images from the papers and used them for embellishment throughout the album. And I've used this memory box. This is the Tender Leaves die. I have the green leaf die cuts throughout as just added an embellishment because of the royal gardens and how much greenery there is there, so wanted to add that. On the closure, these little chains and baubles are just decorative. They're not holding the closure, but I wanted to add them for a little extra. There's a Tim Holtz hitch fastener here with a leather band, and then this little door knocker is a Paper Studio embellishment that I also purchased at Hobby Lobby. I believe Prima might make something like this, if you have any trouble finding that. On the spine, I've used a chipboard tag here, and it's fastened to a ring fastener. This is a beige rosette trim, and underneath is an embossed white specialty paper. Just wanted a little bit of light color on the spine here. On the back cover, I've got more of that gold trim with the flat back pearls. This is a little tag from the pockets and tag sheet. These are some border strips that I've cut from one of the papers, and then some antique gold brads that are holding the leather band here. On the closure, turn this back around. On the closure, I've also got that gold lace trim here on the leather band. So we will get right into this. So it's got all new page designs. It's a 10-page album. And for the edges of the flaps in this album, I've used this Spellbinders Card Creator die. This is the Scallop Borders 2 die, and I've used just the regular plain scallop border here on that. And over here I have a magnetized, I've used a sticker, it's a magnetized swing tab, and it opens, and then there's a flap here that opens. I've used a tag from the pockets and tag sheet here and cut out another little lily. And then over here is an envelope flap. I've used a couple of chipboard tags there for the closure. And then just a little pocket here, and I'll probably stick some train tickets or things in that pocket. and then a magnet on this flap and it opens, and then a swing tab on the large flap. I've left I've used tan parchment cardstock for the base pages, and I've left them very neutral. I'm going to put some larger photos here on each base page, but I've cut out a lot of the flower images here for extra embellishment, and I've used this memory box die, and this is called the Distressed Addison Collage. There's 4 dies in this. I'll kind of show you here. They come on a magnetic sheet, and each die looks like this. It can cut, these are neat dies. They can cut just the corner of a large piece of cardstock, but I went and took scissors and just cut around this. I left this not adhered here. I want to slide a photo kind of partially peeking through this design, so I've used that on every base page. So we'll close this up. On page 2, I've used a chipboard tag here from the collection, and then another tag from the pockets and tags. I've cut out a little lily image here and tucked it behind, and I've used a chipboard tag here for a swing tab, and then this flap opens up, and then there's a swing tab here, and this opens down. Then there's a magnet on this flap, and it opens up. And then a swing tab here on the larger flap that opens down. And then again on the base page, I've used that die again, cut from metallic gold cardstock, and more of the flower images. And then a pull-out photo mat. And this is where I've used those journaling cards. This is one of the 4x6 journaling cards, and I've used some scraps of the paper here. And then on the back side, a 6x6 paper and more scraps of the papers that were left over. And this is a EK Success for Sale sign punch that I've used throughout the album for the pull tab. I've cut it from gold cardstock and embossed it. On page 3, I've used one of the stickers here for another magnetized swing tab, and another sticker here from the collection at the bottom. So this just opens like this, and then the split flap that opens, and then smaller flaps on each of these that open. Then there's a swing tab on this top flap, and it opens up. And then a swing tab on the larger flap, and it opens down. And then again, more of the flower images and that die again. On page 4, I've used a decorative chipboard tag here and added a flat back pearl. I've got a little seam binding throughout the album, and this is one of the stickers from the sticker sheet. I've used a chipboard tag here as a little swing tab, and this little flap opens, and then there's a swing tab here, and this flap opens down. And then, oops, close that back up. And then there's a magnet on this small flap, and the large flap opens down. And more flower images in the die again. And I've used some lace ribbon throughout the album in 2 different colors for a little added embellishment. And then the photo mat. And I've got another 4x6 journaling card here and scraps of the papers. And then a 6x6 paper here and more scraps there. On page 5, I have a chipboard tag here, and then a tag from the pockets and tag sheet. I've cut out another lily image, and there's a swing tab on this flap, and it opens like this. And again, I've used another 4x6 journaling card here on the inside of this flap. Then I've used a chipboard tag here with some seam binding, and it's a magnetic closure. And then this flap opens. And then this is a sticker, and it's another magnetized swing tab. And then these flaps open up and down. And again, the die cut and flowers on the base page. On page 6, I've used one of the pockets from the Pockets and Tag sheet, and a chipboard tag here. I've cut out some of the lily images that are attached to this pocket and actually made a pocket out of it. And this is a tag from the Pockets and Tag sheet that just slides in behind. And there's a swing tab on this flap, and a magnet on this flap, and then a swing tab on the large flap, and then the base page again. And then the photo mat, another one of the 4x6 journaling cards, and then another 6x6 paper here. On page 7, I've got another chipboard tag here and a pocket from the Pockets and Tag sheet behind it. This flap has a magnet and it opens down. And then there's a little pocket here, and I've got an envelope there from the Pockets and Tag sheet with a little tag inside. There's a swing tab on this flap and it opens down. A swing tab on this flap and it opens up. And then a swing tab on this flap and it opens to the side. On page 8, I've got a chipboard tag here with a little seam binding and a flat back pearl. Another chipboard tag up here. So these swing tabs, this flap opens down, and then this flap opens up, and then both of the flaps are magnetized and open up and down, and then there's the smaller flaps with swing tabs. And then the pull-out photo mat, another journaling card, another 6x6 paper there. On page 9, I've got another chipboard tag and a pocket there from the Pockets and Tag sheet. I've tucked a little 3x4 journaling card in the pocket there. Got a sticker from the collection and some more lilies that I've cut out. There's a swing tab here and it opens like this, and then a flap that opens to the side. A magnet on this flap, and then a swing tab on the larger flap. And then on page 10, I've used the center portion here and matted it on gold cardstock, and I've got the frame portion beneath, and this has dimensional adhesive popping it up. I've cut out a lily image here and used one of the tags from the Pockets and Tag sheet. This is a chipboard tag that I've made a swing tab out of. And then this flap was this is a 4x6 journaling card that I've used on the outside and inside of this flap. And there's a pocket here, then I've tucked a 3x4 journaling card in the pocket. There's a swing tab on this flap. Used one of the stickers here from the sticker sheet. And then there's a magnet on the larger flap, and then a swing tab on this flap. So lots of room in this album. I've printed off at least about 75 photos. I'll show it with probably 3 or 4 pages with photos in it. Not quite ready to do the whole thing yet, but stay tuned here and I will show you with some photos inside. And I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. So I've been working away at getting my vacation pictures in this finished album, and I am so excited to share this with you. I've had a blast putting this together. I've been asked to show a finished album with photos many times, and I'm just so glad that I finally answered that request and took the time to get one together. So the funny thing about the Gilded Lily paper collection, they nailed it on the colors for Versailles. It really works with the photos that I had. So I'll go ahead and show you. Now, I'm not completely finished with the album. I do have about 49 photos in here so far. A lot of room in this album. So it's the last couple of pages here that I kind of ran out. I've got to do more editing of my photos that I have and kind of go through them and see what else I have left. So I'll just kind of start here. I said in the video there of the finished album that I was going to use this for train tickets, which is what I've done. I've got our little tickets here to Versailles and then returning back to Paris. Kind of an interesting story there. The metro, the line that went to Versailles while we were visiting in August was under repair. So it was really, really difficult, unless you really knew the city, to get from Paris to Versailles. You had to take many different lines and things. So luckily, our British friends that we went with, they really know the city, and she knew how to navigate to get around the different lines. And it was funny, we ended up walking like 3 miles in the middle of this industrial part of Paris to catch the train. And there were other Americans that had somehow made it there. And I don't think that my husband and I would have done it, but so I've got a photo here on this flap. This is the statue at the main entrance. My husband took a lot of the photos. We both were working just with our cell phones, just for ease of traveling and stuff. I didn't want to lug a big camera around. So he actually took better photos than I did. So I have to go through my photos now to get the rest to fill this album. So most of these are ones that he took. But so you can see in here, this is the gold gate in front of the palace here. And you can kind of see just the expanse of, it's just huge. And just really breathtaking. This is the walk coming in. There's a tree-lined sidewalk here, a street leading up to the front of the palace, and you can kind of, as you're walking down this pathway, you can just see just how huge and expansive this is. So, and this is just a picture of the train station before we had to walk a few blocks there to the palace. So, and I like the way that this turned out with the gold die cut, and kind of mimics a little bit of the gates and things, the architecture here. And then on this side, got a few photos. These are our British friends that went with us. This is Sarah and Rob. Sarah speaks fluent French, so she was absolutely instrumental in this trip to France. My husband speaks a little bit, and I speak virtually none. So she really helped when we were trying to get around and order and things like that. So just another, this is in the gardens, and looking up, there's just this huge mall area looking back towards the back of the palace here, and just more in the gardens. Then on the next page, oops, let me close that up. I've got a photo here of the gardens. There's all of these fountains, and you can see all of the gold in the fountains and everything. Unfortunately, none of the fountains were actually working. We were told that due to some budget constraints in Paris and things, that they have decided to not waste the money on running the fountains continuously. So, understandable. There's just, tons and tons of fountains in there. And then down here, I've got another photo. There were just mazes of these tall trees, and you could get lost probably for days in there. So we just kind of wandered around a little bit in there. We only had a few hours to spend at Versailles, so just kind of give you a taste of what that looks like. And then again, this is another shot looking back at the back end of the palace there. And this just goes on. It's just incredible to describe how long this grassy area is. So I've got that there. And then on this big flap here, I love taking photos of architecture, so and getting kind of interesting angles on that. So this is just a portion of the palace. You can again see the gold arched windows and everything. And then here again is a shot from the front as we were walking up. There's a part here, this had like a facade on it. They are actually going to use this wing. This palace is 700, I believe it's 703 rooms. And they're using a portion of the palace, they're renovating it as a hotel. We can't even imagine what it would cost to stay a night once they get that finished, but I'm sure that would be an amazing experience too. So here we are again, me and my friend Sarah and Rob here outside of the gates here. We didn't actually go inside of the palace, unfortunately. There was a line probably 500 people deep, and it would have taken 3 hours to get through it, and we had to catch a train back to London that night. So we kind of walked around the gardens. We spent about 3 hours, and there was still plenty to do just checking out the gardens. So I'll move this down a little bit. And then again, another just angle of a portion there, just a small portion actually of the palace. I haven't done anything yet with the photo mats. I'm probably going to do some journaling actually on this portion, on the journaling cards, and then probably do just a photo on the back of each photo mat. So on this next page, and this is a great opportunity too. A lot of people ask me, well, what are you going to do with those small flaps? What fits on there? So I will tell you that every photo that I printed off in 4x6 size. And I just cropped. I cropped like a maniac. So, you know, there was a lot of just dead space here in these photos, and I really wanted to focus in here on my friend Rob there, and he was just, you know, standing in front of the back of the palace. And this is not the palace. This is a building right outside of the train station. And I just really like the architecture, and it's so different, you know, there. So I wanted to get photos of a lot of the feel of the town too. And here I'll scooch this over. On this side, another the statue at the main entrance there, and then another close-up. My husband's really good with getting just you know, strange angles and things that end up looking good. My friends again, Rob and Sarah, and in front of the gates. And then move this down. Another shot here on the other side of the gate there, with all, you can see all of the gold there along the roof line. And here in this photo you can see it a little better. This is the area that was under renovation for that hotel, just in case you want to go stay. And then these were the entrance gates, and down here again just more architecture, more of the palace. And on the next page, I have two photos inside of here. This was just an excellent shot that my husband took. This, it's all a mirror image. This is all the water of the fountain, and he just caught it perfectly, where it mirrored the trees and the clouds and this fountain here. So he's proud of himself on that one. And more of the back here of the palace and some of the gardens. And on the inside, just more architecture shots. And this is what I'm talking about, the browns and everything of these papers, and then the brown of the palace itself, just really, it matched perfectly. So that was just really neat. And on this page I've got a photo again of my friend Sarah, and Rob's over here. Probably do some journaling over here on the journaling card, or I may add a smaller photo. And then in here, and then in this with the blues, the windows and things in this photo were reflecting the clouds and the sky. So it again just really worked. I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy how everything just kind of goes together so well. So another angle here of the palace, and then this is looking down that long, there's a very, very long lake here at the end of the mall. So the palace is the back of the palace is up here, and you're looking way down. It just goes for miles. And then another shot here, some of the palace. On this page, I've got a couple more photos of the statues. And then more of those just mazes of trees. And another statue here. And then back of the palace and another statue. I was proud of myself, that was one I took. And then, yeah, this is, this is the side gardens as you first get behind the palace there. This is the first area that you'll see off to the side. Really pretty, you really can't tell in this photo, just full of flowers. This page I haven't put anything on here yet. Started running a little low on photos and I wanted to fill some of the other pages, so I have put I've put two in here actually. So I've got more, just an architectural shot, and then that gold fountain again. So I'm going to have to go back and add quite a bit to this page. I really wanted to show you on this one, because these flaps are so small, I was able to trim some photos down and they almost look like just panoramic shots. So these photos, like I said, were 4x6. I cropped this down. There was a lot of just grass, just dead space down here, a lot of sky. These are 2 inches wide and they just perfectly fit. You could do that again and put another photo here. I may use this space for some journaling. It just kind of depends on how many more photos I have here left of this particular visit. And then I did the same here. There was just a lot of sky up in here and then a lot of just the gravel walk. So I just kind of trimmed all of that down to 2 inches wide. Just to give you an idea, you don't have to print everything in small format. You can still work with 4x6 photos. So this one I haven't totally completed, but I've got another shot of the back of the palace here and here. I'll probably add more to the insides of these flaps, and then the back here. And then on this page, I don't have anything on these flaps over here, and I've just added a couple here. Another of the back of the palace, and more architecture. So I've got a lot of work left to do on these last few pages. And then I don't have anything in here. I've put another statue photo here. These were all throughout the grounds. I've got a lot more photos of those. I'll probably balance out those pages. And then the last one that I have, they had various artists with their exhibits there at the back of the palace, and this one was a giant mirror, and the design, it was designed so that you stand in front of it with a camera as we're both holding up this is my husband and I, we're both holding up our cell phones taking a photo, so that it's angled perfectly that you can get the full expanse of the palace in that mirror with you, in the photo. So that was kind of cool, and we played around with that for a little bit. So there you have it. I got about, I think I counted 49 so far. I would say there's probably I'm probably going to put another 10 to 15 in here. But super fun. And thanks for watching and checking out my vacation pictures. And there you go. Thanks.